Good days of competitive gaming, socialization, seminars, and many more, the maiden edition of Accra Esports Week came to an end at the Accra Mall Food Court. The Accra Esports Week was brought to you by Pop Out and Esports Academy in partnership with Esports Association of Ghana, Joy Prime, and My Joy Online. The event saw top esports athletes in Ghana compete on the final stages in various video games such as FIFA 23, eFootball, NBA 2K23, and Frozen, with over 20,000 Ghana students in pot prizes.
Hi, welcome to the VGA Esports Show, and it's amazing how we've all gathered here today for the Accra Esports Week. Since Monday, we've been bringing you back-to-back esports action. It's been non-stop from every genre of gaming you can think of, and I'll be speaking to a few people to get their views on what the week has been like. I've got my first person here, Vespa.
Hi.
How has the week been?
Wow, it's been terrific. It's been exciting. It's been something I haven't witnessed yet. I may want to call it unprecedented. Of course, it's the biggest ever esports experience in Africa, comprising over 12 games. In fact, it's been exhilarating, and I really had fun with this.
What are you expecting from a final? Do you expect it to be as good as it was, or even better?
Now, this final is going to be crunch, trust me. I mean, particularly with the FIFA, we are going to be playing from the quarter-final stages, and trust me, all those final 8 players, they are tough. They are among Ghana's best, Ghana's favorites. There's the big ups in there, there's Prince Jonas in there, there's Sule Habib. The only person missing out is the only Wonder Kid, but it looks like right now he wants to retire into, some legendary status, so we'll excuse him. But of course, with NBA, we have 2 of the best in the country. We have DT coming up against Terry, and of course, the sim racing, super races right there. So in fact, we are poised for a lot of action today. I'm just reserved, waiting to see how the energy will rise up very soon when we kickstart.
Hello, and welcome once again to this amazing show that we started beginning of the year, but we kept on going, and finally we've got one of the most sought after personalities that I've been waiting to talk to on this Accra Esports Show Talks. And it's none other than my sister, my friend, my colleagues, I don't know, my banku, my children's banku mama, plenty things. So I beg now, let's get into the talk with her and get to know the one and only Miss Effie Nkrumah. Effie, welcome. What's up with you?
Oh my God, that was such a great introduction. I was not expecting that.
Well, Abby. What's the time there right now?
Oh, the time? Oh, what is the time? Let me check. It's a very nice 10:53 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So,
Amazing. Whoa. So basically, I mean, your journey in video games, but before even we got into it, what games have you been playing? Or what on your phone, on your laptop? What games have you been playing?
So I'm going to call it the game of life because everybody knows the best place to play games.
Ah,
The
I
game
know.
of budgeting, the game of paying rent.
Amazing. But um, does any of your siblings play any games at all?
Interestingly, not really. My siblings are very much book people. We grew up reading a lot. We all have the genres that we like, and everyone kind of sticks to his or her lane. At once in a while, we'll all merge and enjoy. Say we're enjoying one book that has themes that we all like. But yeah, my siblings are very much about reading. My sister loves lifestyle, so she'll go out and see theater and ballet and all the cultural things. My brother loves soccer, so I guess that's it. He's a soccer player. I like playing chess. I don't do video games, but definitely chess
Yeah,
and card
chess is in
games.
there.
Yeah. Okay, I should have said that. Sorry, everybody. Yes, I do play card games. Thank you, Effie. I play chess. I play chess,
Definitely,
and
definitely.
there's a card game called Spits, and I love playing that because I'm so good at it. It's about being very fast, and I'm fast, quick.
I mean, what about any dancing games?
Ooh, that's a good. I'm so sorry. I have allergies, and I may be blowing my nose a few times today. Yeah, dancing games. I've watched people play them, and I guess I stopped dancing properly a while ago, somewhere around 2021, July 2021. I stopped. I
Hmm.
stopped dancing, and so I've been watching, the evolution through Instagram, but I can't say that Effie herself has been playing dancing games. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
know. I know.
but you remember some time back when I did that? What event was it? I think you and Becky. When I brought the Xbox, and it was uh it was at
I think it
Grab
was
and Go.
yeah, someone's it was Christmas. It was a Christmas Secret Santa. What do we call
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Kris
yeah, yeah,
Kringle.
yeah, yeah. Ken stuff. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh.
Yes,
And
and that was so much fun. I
yeah,
think I think that's something I should probably pick up, that game. What's it
yeah.
called?
It's Just Dance on Xbox.
Just Oh, so I have
And
to have an
yeah,
Xbox to play it.
you need an Xbox to play. You definitely need an Xbox to play. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll work on it.
You get try and get it. You know, I mean, if even if you get the older boxes like Xbox 360, that's cool. You can still get a game on it. It has no rubbish on it. There's Kuzumba on it as well. Yeah, yeah. Kind of a lot of other games in there. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask you some questions, right? Then we kind of go into getting to know you and all that. My first question is, who is Effie?
Ooh, who is Effie? Effie is, I think, first and foremost, a creative. Um, Interdisciplinary artist is what I said for a long time, and it still reigns true. I haven't had a lot of time to make a lot of the work that I like to make, but I know that time will come at the right time. So, still interdisciplinary artist. Effie is caring. She's fun. She's fun loving. She loves to laugh. But she's also a deep thinker and a bit more of an introvert than people realize.
Hmm.
Uh, Effie likes to experience storytelling. She loves to read. She loves to watch really well made films. She loves theater. She loves acting. She loves cooking and
Mhm.
sharing um, food and food ideas. She loves the practice and the art of eating food. Eating
Wow.
food. Not everybody knows how to eat food and enjoy it. Some people just eat because they have to. No, 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 no. Eating food is an art. It's an emotional and share worthy experience.
Mm. Mm. Like eating banku with my kids.
You understand? The memories that they'll hold forever. They'll always remember me as Auntie Effie. Where's the banku?
Oh,
Period.
the moment I say Auntie Effie, um, Daddy, can we go to your office? They just want to come to the office to meet Auntie Effie for Banku. I said, oh, okay.
And that in itself is a love language. And Effie also loves love. I'm also a woman of faith. I love God. And I think that's something that I've always had.
Hmm.
And I'm proud to say that, regardless of the spaces and the industries that I move in, I've been able to hold on to what I believe. Um, and that's something that I think is, yeah, it's something that I'm proud of, that I still know what I believe and why. And I'm able to question it, and through that, I've been able to grow. And that's very important to me. Um, I would say I'm an individual in that I'm quite independent, but then I love to collaborate. I love working with people. I love making people, thinking of ways to make people smile and laugh, but also ways to make people think. So I'm a very deep thinker. Um, and
Yeah,
I love to
I
share.
know. I know. I work with you and I know.
Oh dear.
The
Oh yes,
main fact
you
that you make people's life easier. Thinking is one of the things. I mean, artistic director, very innovative in your thinking and ideas. Anytime, like, why can't we look at it this way and do it this way? And almost all the time it's on point. So that is cool. All right, let's move on. All right, Effie.
know.
Um, Quite a number of times, I know you were a champion of Africanity and the concept of even um, womanhood championing sheroes and all that in our space. Tell us about your philosophy.
Okay, I love that question. Um, well, I always say that it starts with the fact that I'm a fancy.
Okay.
And I've always said that
Wait a
Fantis.
minute. Does Fanties
Okay.
have some superpowers?
Oh gosh, that's very funny. Oh, sorry to everyone. No, it's not that we have superpowers, although it'd be nice to believe that we do. It's more that I feel like Fantis, and I've always said it inherently, and I'm going to say this because with hoping that anyone who watches it doesn't like start screaming, but I think the way we are brought up to communicate and to live in the world is inherently feminist. And I
Hmm.
say that because fancy culture says a woman is allowed to speak and have an opinion. A woman is the one that validates her family line, and therefore she has just as much importance and relevance um, in the world as a man does.
Great.
And I think that that's something I grew up with. I grew up in a home that my mom had a career. She had her ideas. She was able to,
Hmm.
unlike my grandmothers and great grandmothers, she could get an education, and she was allowed to pursue that work. without all the ideas of womanhood holding her down. And that means that she was able to do amazing things in Australia. You know, she's a very big advocate for refugee rights and for women refugees. She was an advocate for African women here in Australia and all the nuances and the challenges that we face when we move to a country that is very different culturally, systematically, when you're dealing with racism, things that you don't have to think about when you're back home. And I think watching that as I grew up, my mom used to take us to work a lot because she was a working mom. You know, our parents we didn't have nannies and aunties and uncles around, so we had to follow our parents to work sometimes during school holidays and all because who was there to take care of us? And because of that, we were able to have first-hand experience in the world of advocacy, in the world of activism. And these are words that I think when people are not exposed to it, they can sound scary. They can sound like, hey, it's too much. What's the point? But when you're in that world and you see women come with stories, you know, women who have been in refugee camps and been
Mm-hmm.
subjected to really horrible things, and you know that your mom is like, this woman deserves the right to work. This woman deserves the right to speak for herself and her family, etc. It really does set in you a sense of, okay, uh, I'm allowed to move through this world with whatever rights I have. And so I think I grew up very confident. And my philosophy and understanding of womanhood, feminism, activism, it all comes from working around, living around my mom, but also my dad. Because as one of my favorite authors, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie says all the time, we should all both be feminists. I don't believe that men and women are the same, but I do
Okay.
believe that God created us equally. He
Okay.
created us as equal opposites. So watching my dad do things that for a lot of, you know, Ghanaian dads or African men or men in general, people would be like, hey, wow, okay. But he allowed my mom to go out and pursue her career and her dreams. He let her travel at times when we were very young. And not a lot of people will do that with their spouses. Or you have young children, you should be home, you know, all of that. My dad let my mom fly. And my mom always says to this day that because he allowed her to fly and to make her impact and win her awards and speak around the world, when his time came, his appointed time came to also fly, she was able to do that with ease.
Amazing.
And that's what I really respect. So I think my philosophy comes from my parents. Uh, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. That is pretty sweet. That is one thing that I've learned that when we give our women the opportunity to fly, it's come to bless us, we the men as well. I mean, it's eventually. I mean, I know how my daughters are really attached to me, and sometimes I give leeway to them, and my wife goes like, well, but definitely there are good nuggets in learning from your parents' way of bringing you guys up. And it is that in Africa we most of the time want the woman to sit at home and watch the kids, which in a way affect the whole ecosystem, because then the thinking is that a woman's place is always at home, to be in the kitchen, to watch the home, and the men to go out. But women can easily also fly high, whilst we empower. When we empower our women, we empower ourselves, the men. That's
Absolutely.
a
I mean,
good
you
quote.
know,
In fact, that is a
it's a
when we
top quote.
empower when we empower our women, we empower ourselves, the men.
I mean, look, it's perfect. And for those who want like a very crisp, biblical, whatever, you know, people
Mhm.
like to talk about Proverbs 1 a lot, but they forget that the woman that they're defining, the woman that they're speaking about in Proverbs 31 is not at home.
Mhm.
She's running a business. She's running her home. Someone is at home doing that work for her. She's not standing over the stove and sweating, wearing wrapper. She's out, she's best dressed, she's running her business, she's buying land. And because of that, her husband can sit at the city gates as a leader and lead. So exactly what you're saying, it's biblical too,
Great.
So I feel like, yeah, we know what we're saying, Chrissy. If we empower our women, we empower our men.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, let's get into a bit of video game. I mean, I know the
Yes.
cultural essence of talking about this and how that even translates into the future of things, right? Come to think about, what can you share some experiences leading to a success in your artistic career?
Oh, some of the experiences. Well, I think that
So
one of
so
the major.
let me take you back down a little bit. In let's say currently, I know you did some work with the Harry Potter stuff, which come to connect back to even some video games in Harry Potter and stuff like that. Looking at your experiences in that, I'll come back to Astra, right? But um, these are some experiences that culturally we don't get here, but you've been able to see. Do you think that these experiences has empowered you in any way? Let me put it out that way.
Being in the cast of Harry Potter, yes, it's for me, it's always been a dream. You know, uh, to give you context, when I first moved to Ghana, my dream was to become an actress, and I had already had a few experiences here in Australia. But the absolute truth, even though it sounds so cliche now, the truth is that at the time I had finished my acting training here in Australia, there were very few roles available for Black actresses.
Wow.
Nobody was looking for plays written by Black writers to produce in Australia. It just wasn't happening. And so the
Hmm.
roles were far and few between. They were very stereotypical at the time. And even though I was really privileged and blessed to be in productions that the character wasn't stereotypical, um, it was often work where what we call devised, where I had to come in and help devise and build a character. And I really just wanted to be in a space where I could practice as an actor the way any other non Black person could. Here's a role, I'm casting you, learn the lines, tell the story, live the journey. So someone recommended that I move to Ghana to pursue that. As you know, that's not exactly how things worked out. I ended up with a great job. We worked together for so long. But as an actress and a performer, I wasn't seeing a chance to achieve my personal goals and what I believe God had for me. So I think coming back to Australia was really the turning point for me. God really changed my life. And coming into the world on such, it's the world's largest play. It's been Melbourne's longest running production. It's Tony Award winning. It's Broadway. It's West End. It's all the things that a theatrical actress and actor would want. And so
Okay.
the journey that led me to it, the journey that led me to be able to perform in the audition room the way I did, I'm grateful for, because it's really opened my mind, it's opened my world. It's literally a dream come true, joining the cast of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. So, yeah.
Amazing. 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 I mean, look, when I saw that, I said, oh, wow, this is cool. But even more so to even find um, 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 a representative of our color within that space is amazing. And when I think about the fact that things are now changing, where we can bring out the African can also have an opportunity. There's always a first step. Okay, yes, if Effie is there, then somebody who's also of this color can be there as well. All right. So let's
Yeah.
move on. Um, what are your thoughts? This is gonna be a bit on video games. What are your thoughts on the future of games, and what do you think will what are your thoughts on future video games? Because there are a lot of technology that are coming up. I don't know if you've seen Apple's Vision new VR set that is coming up. Uh, Share with me, what are your thoughts on video games?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, because of Astra, I absolutely am committing in the second half of this year to really understanding the gaming from a gamer's point of view. So I'm going to start learning. So some exciting things coming up. Can you hear me, by the way? Okay, your sound is off, so I can't hear you. Um, So yeah, in terms of learning how to play games and all, I'm so excited about that. I think the future of it, from the little I've seen as someone who's on the periphery of that world, is that there's going to be so much new so many games that have a lot of lore. I love that Valorant, League of Legends, all these big games, they have stories. You're following people's lives as you play these games. Um, so I like that. I'm interested in the graphics as well. Similar to animation, I'm interested in how people intentionally choose an aesthetic for their game. So, for example, I really love the cinematics that they do for Valorant. I love the cinematics. They make me think big and they're exciting. But then I look at the actual animation in game, and it's quite cool. It's very sharp and different. And then I look at this new game that just came out, Akina Popo
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
and one of the things I love, I haven't played it, but I want to play it. One of the things I love about it is how they've chosen is it a lower quality of animation style,
Mm-hmm.
but that reminds me of games we were playing when I was like, what, you know, 9, 10, 11 on a computer with a joystick. And it's so real to me. I care less about whether the person in the game looks like a human being. So the soccer games that you guys play, the FIFA and all that, where the player looks like a real person, I'm like, no, that's creepy. I love the one that the person is running and it's a little bit awkward, and I think it's so cool. So I like that, everyone has their own aesthetic, and it's moving in that direction where people decide. Um, I was going to mention a particular game and I've forgotten the name of it, so I'll let go of that. But the virtual reality, what I really like about that is, as a visual interdisciplinary artist, I see a lot of artists using VR and the face,
Yeah,
I don't know
the
what they call
VR.
the goggles with the giving using VR to give people a sense of world, a
Mm-hmm.
sense of, okay, you live in New York. What did New York look like before the Dutch and the British and everybody came to fight for it? And you can walk through Broadway and see how it would have looked, when its original peoples walked through. And I was like, that's something that I really am interested in. How to see something right in front of you. I think it's very disorienting, but I'm excited to see where that goes in terms of gaming.
Yeah,
There are a
well,
few people in life I would love to be
I
close to.
but I think that it's gonna really change a lot of things, because I'm looking at this. I envision that come a certain point where even if I want to watch a Broadway and feel that I am in there, I can put on this, you know, and I can feel in the surrounding everything that I mean inside the theater. You get it? and I'll be just here in Accra, and I'll be able to watch Broadway and feel the clap, feel the cheers, and feel everything as if I am inside the Broadway. And that is what I believe gaming or the technology of gaming is making it possible, of the future and of the present right now. Now let's talk about your Astra roadmap. How did it happen? I believe a lot of people want to know, how did a Ghanaian, Australian born actor, actress, performer got into a triple A route game? A triple, no, wait, listen, a triple A route game, triple A, top of the line, triple A Valorant, and not anything. She is a Ghanaian in the game, and she is speaking Tree. Tell us, how did that happen?
Oh gosh, I love it. I love that. I love the way you've asked that. I've been asked that question a lot, and I think your way of asking it is great. Well, I've got to give a shout out, and I always do this. Well, not a shout out, but I always acknowledge the person that got me the audition, and that is Belinda Bediako Esiedu, Mama B, as we know her.
Oh, really? Uh-oh, shout out to Mama B.
Shout out, shout out, shout out. Mama B thought of me when she received the call, I believe from Aram, is it Teria,
Yeah.
of Letty Art.
Shout out to
And
Aram.
so they
Shout out to
shout
Aram.
out, shout out. And so I actually got the audition because of Belinda, and I'm so grateful that she even called me to say come and interview, audition. Sorry, and I think this is the great thing about AAA games is, the game is more than what you see on the screen. It's the infrastructure around it. Just like theater cannot work with just actors and a stage. I mean, it can, essentially. But then, in terms of the big shows that you want to see, where you want, like in Harry Potter, you've got fire coming out here, there's a lake on the stage there, there are trees coming in. All of that is technical. And you
Yeah.
can't have that with just creative minds alone. You need someone who knows how to power the pyrotechnics. You need someone who knows how to create the machinery for things to move. Someone who knows how to balance the pH levels in a pool so that actors can use it every day, etc. And I think it's the same with gaming. You can have someone who is a storyteller, they write the lore of the game, someone who creates the maps, who
Mm-hmm.
draws the animation. You need performers who can bring those characters to life vocally. And that's where I come in as someone who identifies as a performer, as an actor. Um,
Great.
so I think stepping into the AAA game world sounds strange, but then to tell the story, you need an actor for it. So yeah, I got asked to audition. At the time, Mama B said it was a radio theater, and at that time we were making radio theaters where we worked. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. I mean, COVID is bringing these opportunities. I didn't have a lot of confidence personally. I say that at all times to show that it's not always that you walk into these spaces feeling confident and assured that something is for you.
Wait a minute. Wait a
I
minute.
wasn't confident.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
That dropped the
go.
line. It's not always that you feel confident to entering into the spaces. Meaning that, look, meaning that this is the law. If you are watching this, listen, you are always not ready for your next move. You just have to take the move. Continue, if
Yeah.
continue. This is the game changer. This is the game changer. You're dropping the nugget. You're dropping the live nugget. I want the gamers watching this to understand that, look, you are always, just that it's not that you should have a full confidence. Hey, I know how to play, so you go. No, take the opportunity, take the step, and get in there. Please, sis, let's roll. Go ahead.
scared. As they say, do it scared, do it lonely, just do it. So yeah, I wasn't too confident. There's a gamer called Reese Smart who has a podcast called Mentally Obsessed, and we talked about mental health in the gaming world and all. And
Great.
I shared with him that at the time I was struggling a lot mentally. I had a lot happening. And so walking into the space was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the things people said to me, um, people say it's how you interpret it. How I interpreted was like, oh, this thing is just flimsy, it's nothing. And because of that, like, Effie will get it because it's just toys. And when a Ghanaian says, hey, concept, hey, toys, like, it's not always a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
So when I walked in, some of the people there were like, "Oh, this thing is toys, so you'll get it." And I was like, "Oh, I don't even know what you mean." And so when I walked in the room and they told me what it was, oh, that's when everything changed. And I said, "You know what, Lord, this one I really want it." You know, Wakanda Forever, not Wakanda Forever. Sorry, the first Black Panther film had just come out, and when I saw the mock-ups for Astra and I heard that she was Ghanaian, which I love. Riot Games, big up, shout out to them every time. They are so detailed. They didn't just say she's an African, she's Ghanaian. And so then she gets to represent Africa from a specific point of view. And that's so important to me. In the West, people
Amazing.
don't really understand our differences. So I was like, nah, I want this one. So that's when it switched for me, and I decided to pull all the everything I had to really feel like what I think Astra could sound like. And I really put my mind to it. In that moment, I drew my focus in and I went for it and I gave it my all. I listened to the direction they gave, I responded. And I think it was that moment of like mobilizing my mind, letting go of the insecurities that really were all over me. You could see it. I let go of it and I went as hard as I could. And I believe that's part of why, apart from the fact that it was definitely God's plan for my life, I think that's why I got it, because I really believed in what they were trying to do.
Amazing. I mean, the Astra character in Valorant has been one of the most played character of all. What has been the response like? I know recently you did a signed online autography session and stuff like that. How did that go? And also, how are you getting the response? People meeting and say, "Hey, I play your character in there, and I hear you speaking tree and stuff like that." What has been the response?
Yeah, it's been very overwhelming. When I first got it, I remember there's the voice of Rain, Carolina Ravasa.
Hmm.
She reached out to me and was like, "I want to interview you," and I was like, someone wants to interview me. I didn't even know what to think of it. So I prepared. I had my shop at Fintech's Road, so I was going to have the interview in there online. And what? An hour to time, lights went off
Oh my.
in the shop. No, and it was like 6 or 7 p.m. Ghana time, so you can imagine. So I
Hmm.
had to race down Spintex Road in peak hour traffic to get to this cafe in the Palace Shopping Center so
Yeah.
that I could get Wi-Fi in order to do the interview. So that's the madness I experienced that day. But
Wow.
she was the one that prepared me somehow for what would happen. She said people love the game. People already love the agent. Um, and it's huge. So get ready for people to DM you to ask you questions. And indeed, I started getting randomly a lot of followers on my Instagram. People would DM me, "Oh my god!" And what I appreciate is Astra fans and Astra mates are very loving people. So I get a
Great.
lot of "I love you," "I love Astra," "She's my favorite," "She gives energy," all the things that I wanted to achieve with the character, with the agent. I was able to. One of the funniest things that I will tell you that shocks me to this day is when the announcement for the cast of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child Reimagined came out, they made a video with our headshots
Yeah.
and in alphabetical order. And my headshot is next to a good friend of mine in the cast called Bailey Nathan Park. And Bailey came up to me one day at work, probably 2 or 3 months into the process, sat with me and started asking questions. And he's a great conversationalist. So
Mm-hmm.
he asked you a question, you ask another, and you're like, wow. And he was asking me about my career and my acting. So I was answering all the questions. Chrissy, at the end of almost 35 minutes of conversation, he said to me, okay, Effie, I just have to tell you, I already knew who you were. And I was like, what do you think by the way? And he's like, look, I was asking you these questions, waiting for you to say that you voiced Astra in Valorant. Because
Oh.
when the video came out, all my gamer friends started screaming and texting and calling me and saying, do you know who your headshot is next to? And he was like, who? And they're like, that's Astra. Your picture is next to Astra's picture. Do you not realize? And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, Effie Nkrumah is the voice of Astra. And he was like, I go to work and see this woman, and me, you know me, I like fooling.
Yeah.
So I'm at work and I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And he was like, you're the voice of Astra and you never talk about it. It's not in your bio, in the program. Why? And I was like, I didn't realize it was that big. I didn't realize.
Uh-huh.
So it's
Mm.
been very humbling. It's forced me to stop hiding my achievements. Being Astra has forced me to stop hiding. You know how Ghana is. People have a bit of what we call in Australia tall poppy syndrome. Cut him down. And so I got to the point where I stopped sharing and talking about my achievements because I felt shy. I felt like I was being narcissistic or arrogant. And so I learned to really block everything I did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's nothing. Oh, it's nothing. Oh, it's nothing. But it was something. And so, yeah, that's been the response. It's been one that has forced me to accept the good things I've done, to accept the fact that I've trailblazed. So many young people come to me at the theater on my DMs and tell me that, look, I was able to pursue this career because of you, Effie. And even though I don't feel like I've made it, I've made it. I've done enough for people to
Yeah.
pursue the career.
Yeah.
So Astra has been, the response has been great. The love has been real. The signing was fun. Meeting the other voice actors, it was great. It's been great.
Okay. Okay. I mean,
So I'm gonna,
it's wonderful. It's wonderful um to it's pretty wonderful to know that all these, being an actor, being an artistic director, a dancer, and all that has brought you to this. But most importantly, for me, how I see it is that it's the young people coming up can, and especially ladies, can look at it and say, look, she's done it, and we, because she's done it, we can also do it. And that, for me, anytime I say you, anytime I say, look at Effie, she's been able to do it, and because of that, we can use it as an example to tell the young girls coming up. And especially for me, I've been in the video game industry just basically to change the narratives, that video games are bad, video games is negative. And for me, I always say that it's if it is fun, it is enjoyable, it is good. That has been my and especially for kids, to be able to give them a change of narrative, because whilst they are playing the game, they are learning. And it's also a problem solver. So whatever I do, I try to inculcate the principle that look, you playing the game and you are solving we are solving a problem in the game. The game is a problem that you need to solve from level one to level two to level three, and the more you play, the more you come to accustom it. It in our days also it helps them to not to get into trouble out there because these young people are getting into drugs, getting into teenage pregnancy, getting into alcoholism. There's so many out there. So one way to keep them from getting into negative self-destructive tendencies were uh, is to, for me, I'm trying to use gaming as a pivot, and I can always use her as an example to say, hey, look, and I can always say she's my friend.
I mean, I
All
think
right, Effie. You know what? Let's take a quick
alright.
break. Let's take a quick break. When we
Sure.
come up, then we round off stuff and we catch you another time. So we're gonna take a quick break, and once we come back, we ask if you had questions to our dear Astra, Lady Astra in the game. If you haven't, just type Astra in Google. You can even type Astra in ChatGPT. Yeah, but anyway, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Six good days of competitive gaming, socialization, seminars, and many more. The maiden edition of Accra Esports Week came to an end at the Accra Mall Food Court. The Accra Esports Week was brought to you by Pop Out and Esports Academy in partnership with Esports Association of Ghana, Joy Prime, and My Joy Online. The event saw top esports athletes in Ghana compete on the final stages in various video games such as FIFA 23, eFootball, NBA 2K23, and Frozen, with over 20,000 Ghana cedis in pot prizes.
Hi, welcome to the VGA Esports Show, and it's amazing how we've all gathered here today for the Accra Esports Week. Since Monday, we've been bringing you back-to-back esports action. It's been non-stop from every genre of gaming you can think of, and I'll be speaking to a few people to get their views on what the week has been like. I've got my first person here, Vespa.
Hi.
How has the week been?
Wow, it's been terrific. It's been exciting. It's been something I haven't witnessed yet. I may want to call it unprecedented. Of course, it's the biggest ever esports experience in Africa, comprising over 12 games. In fact, it's been exhilarating, and I really had fun with this.
What are you expecting from a final? Do you expect it to be as good as it was, or even better?
Now, this final is going to be crunch, trust me. I mean, particularly with the FIFA, we are going to be playing from the quarter-final stages, and trust me, all those final 8 players, they are tough. They are among Ghana's best, Ghana's favorites. There's the big ups in there, there's Prince Jonas in there, there's Sule Habib. The only person missing out is the only Wonder Kid, but it looks like right now he wants to retire into, some legendary status, so we'll excuse him. But of course, with NBA, we have two of the best in the country. We have DT coming up against Terry, and of course, the sim racing super races right there. So in fact, we are poised for a lot of action today. I'm just reserved, waiting to see how the energy will rise up very soon when we kickstart.
All right, all right, all right, and welcome back to the show. And if you haven't, you've met a lot if you are just joining. But I mean, the video is on the stream, and you can always go back and go and watch from the beginning. So let's go back with our one and only Effie. All right, sis. You know what? So,
Mm.
um, I'm gonna ask you a few hard questions, right? And these are I call it the wow factor questions, right? And I know the question I'm going to question me myself. I know the answer already. So, so, but I'll ask it anyway. If you are to be a character in a video game, who would you be and why?
Well, lucky for you, I have an answer. At the moment, if I had to be any character, oh gosh, my allergies. I'm so sorry, everybody watching. I can barely breathe right
Now
now.
this is
Okay.
this is
If
live. This is live. Wait, this is live. It's understandable. You know,
if I
this is we are humans, right? It's we are not supposed to be so technical and thinking everything is supposed to be right. I like the fact that I want this show to be as natural as anything, right? Get me?
well,
So
that's
so
all we can say.
yes, so anything go
Yes,
on. I like the unpredictability of the show. You know, I come in with questions and I don't ask them. Yes, we go and we yes, come on. We are human beings. We are not robots. I mean, you should go to one, two, three, and four, five, six. No, it's supposed to be fun. Anything can happen.
but
One of the things that I learned
the
from this movie, I think it is one of Tara Perry's movie, and his mom was asking him, "You are so predictable." When he said that to him, I was like, "Damn, I should never be a predictable person." No, you know. So go ahead and let me know
okay.
if you are let me put the question again. If you were
Okay.
supposed to be a character in a video game, what would that character be and why?
So for now, the character I would be in a video game is Phoenix in Valorant.
Oh, really? Right? Not Astra.
No,
Why?
I'd be Phoenix because I love the South London accent in it.
Oh, okay. I got that.
I love the South London accent. And like if I could talk like this every day, fam, like as a South London guy, a black man living in ends, I would just my life would be like heaven. That I, so
Eh,
when I met
Are you
the voice
acting
actor
now?
that
Are you acting now?
of course obviously fam, this is not me
All right,
being
all
a
right.
regular.
Let me just enjoy this moment. I may never had it again.
No, the moment has well and truly passed. But that I love that accent. The guy who voices that is I believe black British man of Nigerian descent. He's called Afolabi. I can't remember his surname, but his first name is Afolabi, and uh, he's one of the most humble, most talented, and what we would say plugged in people that I've encountered.
Hmm.
And on our live stream a few weeks ago when we were signing, I had commissioned fan art of any fan artist and said, you know, if you want to make fan art for me to sign during my live stream, let me know. And I had some interest. So my plan was those people sent artworks. That's what people were able to purchase and paid obviously for their work. Uh, but I found out that Afolabi actually he and another voice artist did similar to me. They did call out, but in his case, he was donating all the money he got from the streaming to young artists, black kids in South London,
Wow.
and that just my respect level just rose because it's clear that he's doing quite well in the industry. He's got a name. People love the agent Phoenix, but he's using it for good, and that's something that I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I would love to do with my work. I did it in my small way, but because he has, you know, a bigger following, he was able to do more and better. So right now, that's definitely a character. And also, Astra, I think Loki. Bryant hasn't said it; it's
Yeah.
not confirmed. But in my mind, Astra and Phoenix would make a really hot couple. So
In fact,
Phoenix.
we're doing that signing anytime it drops on this on this side of the world of this side. We're doing that
Yes.
signing on this physically signing, and
Yes.
I'm gonna hold you to that. When I hear you
Oh,
drop
please.
at the airport, we're setting a date for the signing. In fact, we're doing it in a school, in a deprived school.
Oh,
We're doing it in a deprived school. We're going to the hood, bringing Astra from all the way in the virtual world and the physical world to. I mean, we'll do that. So, um,
that's
we are in touch. So I know that anytime that you are dropping that, you let me know so we can get that project done.
Mama, 10 years, 10. 10 years,
Yeah,
10.
that I'm receiving that. Anyway, anyway, I know I don't want to take your time. We've been here for a while, and then do I have some funny questions again? Hey, I asked people to put their questions in the chat. Let me go and see if anybody have asked any question. Then I can ask them, and then we can round it up. Okay, okay. I don't think I have any other questions. If you didn't ask any questions and you are watching the stream again, oh, my focus is. Then we'll say, please, if what are your last words? And what? Okay, first and foremost, what what do you think? I know you are very Africanistic. And what will you think is like changing narratives with creatives, especially with video games?
Changing narrative. Um,
Okay, let me make it easy
I
for you. So I
yeah.
believe that, for instance, I mean, Wakanda, all right, in the movie space, help propagate the fact that there is this futuristic Africa where Africa is respected and given a seat at the table. In my own thinking and philosophy, I also believe that the African culture holds certain values so strong that it has never been discovered yet. That is why we get in a lot of expressions coming from the creative, be it creative art, be it performance, or be it even in the video games. What I think video games has is that it has the visual, the music, and the performance all in one. And now we can preserve that and put it out in the technological space and open it up for people to see, and that can really change the narrative. You know, people are like, oh, Africa, they are living on trees, but when we can create create games of our history, of our culture, of what we truly embodies, people can play the game. And now, like now, people are playing Astra and getting to know, oh, he's a Ghanaian, she speaks this way, this is her mannerism, these are the nuances and stuff like that. That is one character, you know. But I believe that um, 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 we can do more with video games. That's what
Yeah.
I was trying to um, get from you.
Preserve.
What are your
Yeah,
perspectives? Yeah,
yeah, I agree. I think that there is a difference between changing the narrative, challenging the narrative, and then telling it as it is.
great. I like it. Wait,
And I
changing
think
the narratives, telling the narratives, and then what? Telling
challenging.
challenging. Challenge. You are sharp, oh. You be like you go school, pa. You know how it is. Like, hey, wait. Did your mom or dad go to Presec? you,
Unfortunately for you, unfortunately for you, my parents went to schools that I think in their time had a better name than they have now. You can
Oh.
correct me if I'm wrong, but my dad is a butcher boy. He's from
Oh
Jamaica.
yeah.
He's from, and obviously my mother obviously is a gay hey girl.
Hey, 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 hey,
So
hey,
you
hey.
know,
I'm Christianizing them per seconds now.
Rebecca, Rebecca, you guys are very interesting people. Very interesting people. Very, 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 very interesting. I'll leave
Uh,
it there. Very, very interesting. But yes, I think to answer your question, I think that you can challenge the narrative, and I feel
Great.
like that is more because, and I say that because I think that in the West, here in the West, for us, for those of us who get the privilege of living at home in whether it's Ghana or other countries in
Mm-hmm.
Africa, there are questions you'll never have to answer. And in that regard, I think it's better to just tell the narrative that this is who we are, this is where we came from. Because for many people, you've never had to even realize that, oh, before 1967, no such thing as a Ghanaian. Sorry, 1957, there was no such thing as a Ghanaian. And so it's our job now in 2023 and beyond to tell the stories so that when someone says, who is a Ghanaian? What is a Ghanaian? You can answer it. Whereas for those who have to deal with or live in the West or other countries, for me, it's more about challenging the narrative. So yes, the narrative of primitiveness. All those narratives, we have to challenge them and we have to say, well, why do you think that's the narrative?
Okay.
And so I know that with my work, I do that. I challenge it. I say, okay, you think that this is XYZ, but I'm going to tell you from my point of view as an African that it's actually ABC. And here's why. And so I'm less interested in convincing non Africans of Africa's validity as I am in saying it has always been amazing. And these are the reasons why you don't think they're amazing. So let's turn the picture or the mirror back on you and talk about your history
Great.
and how it affects my history
Mm-hmm.
in order
Okay.
to give you the narrative that you think it is. So, yes, I think that that's what video gaming can do. In one sense, it's already saying that there's electricity, there's light, there's internet, there's capacity in Africa. But on the other hand, it's saying that, well, we don't actually need to just tell stories about dragons and fire and druids and wizards, but we can also talk about kids running through the market.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it's going. Play it
Yeah.
if you want to. If you don't, that's right. We will. So yeah.
Great. Great African lady, great African woman, great perspective, great individual, great dancer, great lover of food, great great musician as well. She can sing too. If you don't know, she does sing. And then she's an amazing person. I'm telling you, you should get to know her. Um, I I am super excited for her and for her career and where she has been and where she is now, and basically hoping that she goes higher and higher. God bless you, Effie, for taking the time to be with us tonight. I know this hasn't been exhaustive but we get to know where the Astra came from and the response.
Right.
Definitely, definitely one of the greatest and undoubtedly uh, um, um, a triple A game from Astra. So let's see. Okay, so we're gonna sign off. We don't want to take anybody's time. Um,
Thank you so much for staying up and for your wonderful questions. It's been really great.
oh, it's been really great, Charlie. I'm trying. Oh, I'm trying. You know how shy I am to you know how shy I am to. But when I started, there's a lot. I got a lot of request asking that how you do this quite well. I said, "Oh, okay, you are the only one." I said, yeah, well, I I happen to know people who know people, so I mean, why not? And I'm glad that I'm connected to you. Um, yeah, I mean, F, thanks so much for spending your time with us. And if
Thanks for
they
having
say when the cock crows the next day, know that it's me saying thank you, as we say in Africa.
Oh dear.
Anyway, I will tell the girls I've taken some pictures and I'll show it to them. I'll ask them who is with this man here. Say, who is this man? They'll say, Daddy. Who is this one? Auntie Effie. I'm like, okay, you guys remember.
Tell them that
Anyway.
I'll be eating some fufu for them today. So,
All right. All right. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate the
thank
time.
you.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you. This is where we brought the curtain down. You can always find this content again until I bring you another person. Maybe Phoenix, right? I'll ask Effie to connect me with Phoenix. We'll bring Phoenix into this place. All right. Enjoy your evening and have a good morning to everybody who is watching this. All right. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Bye.